It is amazing to be sitting here with you right now. I can't even explain to my viewers. I've known you forever. I mean, there was a middle part where we lost touch, but it's so nice to be here at your home and talking about what it is that you do. I don't want to give it all away, but can you tell my viewers a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Well, first of all, Maya and I grew up together in Canada, in Ottawa. So it is really surreal sitting with you here. So we've both kind of managed to move our way to the West Coast, and I've been doing music and performing and acting and all that stuff basically my whole life. And then I finally released my first EP this past November on iTunes and or wherever you go to download music. It's just all over the internet. But it's called Love Is Not, and it's been a fun journey creating and a really neat experience to finally release something that's my own voice and not doing a show that someone else has written or somebody else's music. So it's really fun.
And I have to say, I mean, growing up, your whole family was artistically talented. You guys were always doing something musically. I remember your playroom was done. Your mom painted all the walls, and there was a jungle rope. There's always been that in your family, which is obviously huge, getting you to where you are. But I mean, never did I know that you had the voice that you have. You released this song on iTunes, and I listened to it and I couldn't believe it. And now you're making a music video?
Yeah, so I already have one music video for the single that's out called "What Are You Afraid Of," and I've got a couple actually in the works. So after I released my album, some directors have approached me about doing other music videos, which is great. I'm really excited about it. I have a Nine Inch Nails cover on my EP called All the Love in the World. So that's going to be the next music video that we do. And then one of my favorite songs on the record is called Tattoo. So I have some really exciting stuff coming up for that.
Now, I know you've been through some rough times in life, more so than some people. You did a whole thing on Harper's Diary. I'm wondering, is there anything on your EP that's where the emotions and the writing came from?
A huge portion, and I think that was honestly part of the fears of songwriting is very personal, and yeah, so a lot of what's in the record is touching on experiences I've been through, and the title track "Love Is Not" especially is touching on that. It's actually going to be in a film that's coming out, I think, in the fall. I hope I'm allowed to talk about this, but it's with One Love Foundation, and it's a charity that is releasing a movie on domestic violence that'll be going out to universities and high schools and across the nation. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of that.
A lot of people, when it comes to their personal life and domestic violence, they stay quiet through their entire lives. You've really made an impact on that, and you've talked about it, which most people wouldn't do. What made you decide to be like, you know what, this isn't right, you need to do something about it?
Thank you, first of all. I think a lot of my strength came from my mother, and just really realizing that if it could happen to me, then it can happen and does happen to. It could happen to anybody, basically, and silence is what keeps it going. Because if we don't talk about it, if we don't admit that it's out there, then people are afraid of it or ashamed of it. There's kind of a taboo feeling that comes around it, or a feeling of guilt, or that maybe you did something wrong, and it's a really hard thing to go through. So I think the more we share and the more we talk about it and the more people are aware of these kinds of situations, the less it will happen.
And music is a huge inspiration for a lot of people. Listening to certain songs get you through some tough times. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind that you listened to while you were going through everything that sort of made you realize that in the end it could actually be okay?
Well, music has always been just a huge source of inspiration for me, obviously, but I listened to Kelly Clarkson like ad nauseum. She had this one song called "Why You Want to Bring Me Down," and I liked it because it had just such a sense of empowerment. First of all, her voice is just out of this world, but I'm heavy on the female singer-songwriters and just their sentiments, and that song really helped me through. I remember just sitting on a plane and I just listened to it on repeat, and it was a lot of support comes through music, and you can kind of get lost in the emotion of the song, and it's good. It was good.
And speaking of support, people might not know this about you, but you have a larger family than most. I'm guessing that helps growing up and now.
Of course, yeah. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and they're all turning 27. Turning 27 in September, so they're quintuplets. But you know that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so big family, lots of love, a very wonderful, warm home. I feel very fortunate, and like I'm never alone. So it's good.
You're on iTunes. Is there anywhere else that people can find you and see what it is that you do?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, and that's probably the most personal way to kind of keep up to date with what I've got going on. And it's facebook.com/JerinMusic. And then, of course, Twitter at JerinJulia. And you can kind of, I think from any of those, you could find your way, navigate to all Instagram and all of those other fun things. And then, of course, anywhere you download music. I don't think, does Canada have Spotify? I think that's just an American thing still.
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if we can get it in Canada. I don't know.
I don't know, but anyways, wherever you download your music, it's there, and yeah, and share away, tweet away. I'm very responsive to people who write in, and yeah.
Being a singer-songwriter, is there anybody that you have in mind that you would absolutely love to sit down and co-write with?
Oh my gosh, so many people. Well, yes. Off the top of my head and right away, I'd love to write with Lisa Loeb, just because growing up, she was somebody that really inspired me, and Jewel. And I'd love to sit down with either one of those ladies and just talk to them about, because their songs are so poetic and lyrically driven, and I just really admire the way that they use their words and paint such beautiful pictures with their songs. So it's more than just what you hear, it's also what's being said as well, and it's really important to me. So.
And you actually got to meet Lisa Loeb, didn't you? Or you saw her play?
I did. I was such a stalker fan. Oh my God. No, I saw her play at the Roxy in Hollywood not too long ago, and stayed after the show and spoke with her, and I was like, I'm gonna open for you one day. So we'll see. That'd be neat. But she was really sweet, and just, yeah, really open and lovely. So hopefully I run into her again.
And obviously you made the trek to LA to fulfill your dreams. Do you have any advice for others that are trying to do the same thing? If you had to do it all over again, would you definitely come to LA?
I feel very fortunate in everything that's led me to LA, and I think that in a lot of ways you do have to, if performing arts is something that you want to do, you do have to eventually make your way to the Mecca, or to LA, or to New York, or somewhere where you can really surround yourself with like-minded people and people that are trying to do the same thing. But as far as advice, I feel like I'm still trying to find my own way, so I'm hardly the best person to give it. But I think no matter what you're doing, just find something that you're passionate about and go for it. It doesn't matter what that is. I think if you're passionate about something, that's the most attractive trait a person can have. And whatever that is what you should go after. And it doesn't matter where you have to go. If it's LA, if it's New Mexico, or it's Canada, who cares? Just be where you have to be to be true to what you want to do and yourself.
I think you've made an awesome choice, and I'm sure that things are going to happen for you. You're an amazing person. You always have been, and your music is awesome. So hopefully this helps and people check you out. With all the music you've got going on, not only did you do that, but like I said before, you did something called Harpers Video Diary. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It's a series that a friend of mine, Cheyenne Camille, and I wrote together on domestic violence, and it's meant to be a show that's interactive, and hopefully one day it'll kind of get some more light onto it. I think it has a lot of potential, but it's about a girl who's going through some domestic violence and ends up putting her hands in, or her life, or her fate in the hands of the audience, and allowing them to kind of dictate her fate. So the audience gets to decide whether or not she stays or goes, and you get to really see what the realities of your decisions are in moments of kind of life or death. And the pilot's online. We produced that ourselves, and you can watch that on YouTube. But yeah, it's just, we wanted to raise awareness. We want people to talk about it, and we wanted to create some entertainment with a purpose. So hopefully people find strength in it, and strength in the character of Harper, and make smart and safe decisions in their own lives.
I have one more question that I ask each of my guests. Okay. I'm wondering if you can show me your socks.
Oh, well, they're very boring today. My mom would be very disappointed because she would never buy us white or black socks, and I would get upset because I was like, why are you buying me all these crazy socks, Mom? And now I normally wear funky socks, but today they're just black. Yeah.
And is that because it matches the rest of your outfit, or is it just by chance?
It's totally by chance, to be honest. I didn't think about it. Yeah.
Well, next time you'll have to think about it and wear some of your funky socks.
Yeah, I will, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.